we got this done finally. I got voice, yes. All right. I think we got it now. You alright, mister? Alright. We should have sound. I'm taking it you guys can hear me because the bar is moving. And I fixed the problem with the lagging mouse was the mouse. What's weird though is I guess it's got to be the driver that's going on with that wireless, because I had 3 different ones and none of them would work on this computer, and it would only work on one of the 3 computers. So I don't know if something just recently updated on some of the computers that's making that driver more obsolete, since it's like a 12-year-old rollerball. I don't know. But I've got an older one here that's wired. So this thing, I've used these since like 2005 maybe. And this is probably from then. So thankfully I had that laying around, a little smaller so it fits a little bit differently. Hey, how's it going? Loud and clear? Awesome. So, alright. I think we got everything working out nice. Alright, now I gotta get to work. I've been freaking eating for the last hour. Well, had a club sandwich from McAllister's for lunch and was watching Man Tracker, an old show that used to be on TV. They've recently uploaded them to YouTube now. It looked like in December of last year, so now I can go through all the episodes and watch them. It's where a tracker has a horse, and he would track 2 people through the woods on a 2-day thing. So, all right, I'm just going to be working here. So, another one of those. You guys can see how I work. See if it can you can implement anything into your listing to make it easier for you, or if anybody sees things that might make it easier for me. Why did that not? I guess I didn't click on the whole thing. Duh. Alright. I thought it's funny, on my last thumbnail somebody told me to stop basically spreading lies. Then I made the $150,000 in the first 6 months. Like, what? Somebody who clearly doesn't watch my videos. It's like, if I did that much money, I would. Basically saying he couldn't do it, yet saying because he could not do it, thinks that nobody else can do it. I'm like, yeah, you clearly don't watch me videos. Me videos. If you simplify it and make things easier, less to deal with, you can list a lot of items per day. You have to kind of just take into account that leaving out some of the details, you got to basically kind of do one of those things like, is it worth the time? Like when I do these hats like this, I don't even know what this is unless I Google it, so I'm not going to waste my time worrying about it. Somebody who knows what RHI, what it stands for, what it is, will know it, will type it in search, will find it. There's no reason to put in, the name of the hat, which is hitwear. There's really no need to put in the color of the hat because it's not going to be like a high-end demand item. You're not going to have, I'll probably be the only one online with this. So let me check that real quick. So you got to kind of just know your stuff and kind of weigh the options. Like if I do that, probably nothing's going to come up. Probably nothing with that company at all. But yet somebody will come out of the blue and buy this hat from me. So that's kind of weighing the options. So what I would normally do is type that in and just hit end, hit save. Just passing up all the details. But on the detail part, I have unbranded, so I just leave it unbranded. A color, I just got multicolor, and all the other stuff is just all filled out already too. So kind of pointless. The fly got in here somehow. Red hat. I think I've had some of these up before. See if they've sold or not. Might be a pain in the butt to find this. Brand fuel stores. If I type in red hat, I'm going to have freaking everything come up. I'll wait on that one. So I feel like doing a more detailed search. He's live and in living color. In living color. What's going on? Yeah, figured I'll start doing some of these just for the fun of it. For the fun of it. Chicago. No, it's the Bears, not the Cubs. Just working live, that's all. Nothing major. Don't really have anything to talk about, so if anybody has questions I can answer or what have you. But this is the only time where I fill in details when it's something worth it, that there's more competition for out there. Other than that, I just leave my generic terms. And my drafts. Drafts. Oh yeah, that's real. I don't know if you can. Got this purple Nike hat with no Nike on it. Giveaway. Put that in the giveaway. Sunset Hills Golf Club. Mr. Vaughn. Head. I've used up all 50 of my templates now, so if I come up with any new ones, I have to find something to erase. He just keeps watching her. How does Nicole State keep getting views? People like watching train wrecks. That's probably why she keeps getting views. Owen's corny. That kind of looks legit. Yeah, that's the only way I can think of it is people like train wrecks. What's she gonna do next? You know? There's just some people you just, whoops, you just know right off the bat that just by their mannerisms, you know they're not good human beings. But then when you do the stuff that she's done to people, I guess they legally can use Pink Panther. I'm going to double check on this though before I put it up, just to make sure. Yeah. Don't want to get no Vero. But, yeah. And then plus two, she probably brings in a whole different breed of new resellers who she'll probably, victimize in the future. Victimize. So here's all my drafts I have. It's my template drafts that I build off of. Baseball adjustable, fitted, snapback trucker, then like women's tops, books, cassettes depending on my price point on cassettes, whether they're singles or not, whether it's a tape only, CDs, my clearance CDs, the just the discs, just the inserts. Then we get into the DVDs with the same thing. 8 tracks, hoodie, Hot Wheels, jackets, jeans, LP, men's shoes. Then we got t-shirts with the 4 different main sizes. Pin backs, because I got a whole basket of pin backs I need to put up, so I made a draft for them. Plush toy. This one can go. So next time I have to delete one, this plush toy auction lot thing, I'm not doing that anymore. Polo shirts or button-up shirts, purses, records on 45s, got VHS tapes. Here's another one that'll be able to go, the 20 lot VHS lot. I'll get rid of that one too. Then the video games broken down in the clearance, normal price, booklet, just a disc. That's another one that can go to. A lot of 20 video games. Visors, women's shoes, women's high heel shoes, women's shoes, and youth shoes. So those are the all the different ones. And that's basically the main stuff that I list. Anything that doesn't fit in any of these categories, I just use plush toy for, and then I just build my page around that. So my item specifics and all that stuff. So doing all that makes it a lot easier when you have a lot of just common same type of stuff. So what do we got here? James keeps watching here. I'm waiting for James to do reseller boxes. Well, you know what? Why don't I? It's no good. This doesn't stick anymore. Yeah, I'll make one and I'll sell them live right here to you guys. How about that? Yeah, no. Ain't gonna happen. Hey, I do like the idea of doing like live auctions. I kind of watched a couple more people doing those recently, so it's kind of a cool thing. If you have the right stuff, maybe stuff you don't want to sell on eBay or whatever. Brand. Stars and Stripes. Let's put it there. Hopefully your computer don't crash. They are expensive. I think it wasn't my computer, if you're speaking of my thing. It was the mouse. I'm guessing that there was an update on the computers, which maybe threw the driver off, since the drivers are in the mouse. If that's how it works, that the mouse is like 12 years old, so maybe it's not jiving with the system anymore. I don't know. That was the only thing I could figure out, because the corded ones are working just fine. So this will be a duplicate. PSL RAMs, yes. This is a duplicate. Go here. T102. SL Rams. Somebody needs to start buying these. T102. A what notish right now. And we'll call it that too, a what notish. Grab some hats. Seems like it'd be a pain in the butt to do the whole sending invoices to everybody. You send me an email when you want this, and then I'll send you an invoice. And that seems like a big pain in the butt part of it for me. But if you have a system worked out, I'm sure it works fine. I just don't have no systems for that. So, Reebok. Alright, we got this one. Ooh, I got lots of those. Now we got 7 of those. Nice and distressed. USA. That's a sample hat too. If I fart or burp, that is called life. Feel free to laugh because it is funny. I think that's what's been weird or messed up with me lately is I've had lots of weird gases for some reason. Large, extra large, PFG. And this one's got a different fade on it and stuff. What size? Large, extra large. I'll make a separate one for that. Fitted. I gotta remember the mic's right here on my thing, and I'm doing these tapping, which could be annoying to you guys. I'm sure the typing already is. Whoops, I deleted a word, didn't I? Carbon. Learn to spell, James. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. What am I doing? It's kind of just in one of those step moods today. The system I have set up is where I can do any part I want to. Like if I wanted to, I could. As soon as I hit save as draft, I could go ahead and go over and take a picture of it now, and I use my phone for that. But kind of like the system's created where I can just do whatever I want to depending on my mood, which makes I'm guessing that's a letter. Is that a T? Is it a pie mixed with tea? And what the heck is that? I'm just going to put tea. Good enough. Because when you can keep changing up your routine, at least for me, the way my head works, is it makes it a lot easier to stay consistent with working. Because no matter what you do, you're working forward. and me talking, I keep forgetting those small things. But you keep working toward creating a listing and or listings. So you're always working toward it. So as long as you keep going forward, you won't be going backwards. Yeah. Words of wisdom right there. As long as you keep going forward, you won't be going backwards. No problem, Mom. Jamaica. Snap back. This mouse is a little bit smaller than the other wireless ones, so I gotta get used to that. Boink. You guys see? I don't know if you can see him or not. I'm watching the delayed. He's like out. I'll grab some hands. Me stepping over. Snoozing. Alright. Cool story, babe. I don't like that word, babe. There's always, when I hear people call people babe, first thing that comes to my head is like, oh yeah, that's not gonna last. It just seems like the people who call each other babe are trying too hard. And then once you stop calling them babe, the other one starts questioning, well, you don't call me babe no more. Well, I technically only called you that because I was being nice, and now you're not nice no more. So over saying those words can always, well, in the long run, I think hurt a situation more than help it. Plus, babe is kind of derogatory in my mind. I don't know. Hey, babe. For a guy or a girl, actually, in my opinion. But that's my opinion. It's a medium. I'm just talking randomly stuff, just so if you're trying to feel out a situation, like if I do a live to help motivate people, you're watching me list, so you'll list more than trying to find different things just to talk about also along the way. So medium. I should have typed in hat too, but I doubt I got this one up. Random talking. I wrote live on a piece of paper outside my door hanging, so if somebody comes in or Adrian comes down or whatever, they don't come in here and say anything that might offend snowflakes or anybody who's sensitive or curse or whatever the case may be. Next thing you know, that you're sitting there and all this weird stuff's being played on your computer. Somebody embarrassing themselves. What brand is this? Just MLB, I guess. Oh, there it is, 47. And you'll notice I hate small talk. So randomly talking about stuff is not one of my strong points. So probably can get annoying really quick if I don't have nothing to focus on talking about. Oh, I guess okay, I gotta come over here to unhide your comment. Show. My wife used to call me babe, now she calls me dick. I mean babe. Heavy hello. But yeah. If anybody has questions, you can feel free. I don't really respond too much to. Oh, so I didn't fix that. How many minutes has it been? Can't tell. Come on. See, I thought I fixed that. I put it in a different HDMI spot. And it's kind of cool that the live, though, kind of blanked it out. Like you just saw it and then it stopped. Well, maybe not. Now it's coming up. Well, there it is. Like, how long did you guys see that black screen for? Just for a second? Because it was literally probably like 10 seconds. So that's kind of cool. But I thought, see, if no sound's going through my receiver, it cuts off after a certain while. So I switched it to a different HDMI, and it's doing the same thing. So, and with the microphone plugged into the computer, I can't run any sound. I wonder if I run sound in the background, if it will feed it and read it, even though the microphone, you won't hear it because the microphone's hooked up. That might be a thought. Let me try. Testing. There we go. I guess I need to pay attention to you guys more. Alright, Alright, so that will not work. So I just have to... There's no way to fix that receiver turning off. Sorry about that. Can't hear you. Oh, give it a minute. Give it a minute. There we go. I'm watching myself work in the past. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I was trying to let Spotify run at the same time, but apparently that's interfering with it, so my receiver won't turn off. But that does not work because that fights the microphone. So do not do that again. So I'll just have to catch it when it turns off, because I'm guessing when you see that black screen, you guys only see it for a second, being it's a delay. I'm guessing, so. Tommy, I gotta stop. Why is all your stuff like I gotta unhide it? I think you got a reputation or something on YouTube. Probably because it looks like spam. Join my Patreon. If it could only sense humor, smart-assness, but it can't. AI probably never will be able to do that in any way. Roll squirrel. Kristen, right? Kristen. I suck at names unless I've said it in several times, so, or heard it several times. So Kristen, I believe, is a roll squirrel. All right, started the clicking sound of the board. Yeah, I know. That's the only bad thing is the mic's right here, so I could move the mic and see how the volume. See, it might not be as, maybe if I move the mic over here, my voice will still travel, but the clicking won't be as bad. So. Yeah, it looks like you can still hear me just fine, so that might work. I'll just, Chris, there you are, yes. I don't get on YouTube enough to actually watch people's videos, unfortunately. Now, what was that noise? Did that mess something up on your end? Something just made a humming noise, it sounded like. Alright. Trying to work out the bugs. Thought I had them all done. This costs money. Stop it. Dork. Tommy, now you're going to make me like... I'm going to tell Jan to get in the car this weekend. I'm going to head your way just to hand you $5 back. Leave it in your mailbox or something. Do you ever catch yourself trying to put colors before you put like women's or men's? Like if you put black men's or white men's, white woman. So I started to type pink and white woman. Women's, I should say. Don't want to offend nobody. Everybody's sensitive. Everybody's got to be perfect. Oh, so there's the streaming minutes. So that thing shut off at about 20 minutes, I guess. 25? Brand on this. Yeah, not worth it. Alright, man. Wait, do you live? No, I live in St. Louis. But we're going to leave. We're going to go on a trip next week. But my wife ended up canceling the Myrtle Beach trip, and we're out $1,500 because they won't give us the money back. And So I'm just trying to debate if I really want to go anywhere and waste any more money. So Tommy had talked about going to the beaches up there in Delaware. So, which I've always wanted to go that way. I just need to head that way is what I need to do. I guess I've been in Delaware, just not more of a passing through thing. So I never really visited Delaware, I guess you could say. Or like Rhode Island, or I'd like to go that way in the fall. That would be awesome. And then you're in Colorado, right, Kristen? I believe. Colorado? All right. Have I thrifted in Colorado? I haven't been to the bins in Colorado. I know there's bins there, I believe, but I don't think I think the last time I went to Colorado was when I was doing dealer trades, and some rich guy bought a Grand Cherokee Summit and wanted it delivered in like Vail or something. So I got to take it up there to Colorado now, but I grew up in. Oh, okay, cool. Took it to some rich resort in Colorado where he was living, and dropped it off. And he tipped me and the friend who was in my chaser car, tipped us like $100 a piece for bringing him the car. But I didn't stop at a thrift store, I don't think. No. Well, we did after that get into the mountains and drove around the mountains a little bit, randomly driving around, because the scenery is just too awesome to just drive in and drive out and forget about. Speaking of, Rocky Mountain National Park hat. Trying to look like a Patagonian hat. Oregon has some beautiful scenery. Oh, I would love to go. The only places I haven't been in the U.S. is the upper corners. So the Oregons and the Rhode Islands. And yeah, I'd love to go to both. I want to drive the 101, the Pacific Coast Highway. I would love to do that. And then the other way, I love driving Blue Ridge Parkway. So I love just that whole scene in Virginia and stuff up through there. So love it. Love it, love it. Alright, snap back. $35 minutes, nice. See, when I drive 35 minutes to go hiking, I mean, it's a little hilly, but it's not like anything great, and even technically the Ozarks, but I could imagine just being 30 minutes away from mountains. That would be so awesome. But then again, I'd probably have gone missing by now and be dead somewhere. You see James? Nope, he went hiking. He's gone. He fell into that vortex where people come up missing and never seen again. I think that's in the Rocky Mountain Park, I believe, if I remember correctly. And then they would find like the remains miles and miles away from where they went missing, but yet it was farther than the time period and the speed of the fastest predator would not have taken the bones there. I don't know. And then other people just totally come up missing, period. But a lot of places to come up missing. I'll go Bigfoot hunting. See, I'm talking too much now. I'm slowing down my work. Go Bigfoot hunting. Supposed to be, but it's crooked. Looks like somebody just made it or something. Don't mess with that. Oops. Missouri Tigers, Mizzou. Oh, there it is there, ain't it? It's got a little water area, a little bit different. Look at those hairs, James. You couldn't pick those hairs off that damn thing before you sold it. It's got some water, some damage, but yeah, we'll just add it to it. This one's in better shape, so we'll just add it. T102. Catch up over here. Downtown Portland and Seattle are the only places to avoid. Yeah, I can imagine. Visit all 50 states, well worth it. Yes, for sure. Most of my visits to states were more just kind of touching and driving through, not really exploring the state, unless it's going south and west. Usually, I love exploring Tennessee. Tennessee is one of my favorite states, just to drive the back roads and get lost. I love getting lost in Tennessee. But yeah, I would like to do that over, and then like Sedona. I love the desert areas and stuff. Just kind of randomly driving through there. Been to the Everglades, not really a hiking spot over there. Too many gators. Yeah, I can imagine that. Let's see, I have 4 continental states left to visit, all out east. Nice. Florida. Use list perfectly. What plan? I do have list perfectly, and that's the one I kind of use for Poshmark. But I've got to I'm trying to make a date where every Wednesday I start doing more cross listing, just because it's a pain in the butt, because most of the stuff sells on eBay, so I spend a lot of time taking off Poshmark, and that's where it's just, I don't want to get overwhelmed where I'm spending 30 minutes a day ending Poshmark items, because all the items are selling on eBay. So I gotta kind of just watch my, there's gonna be a balance of whether the time is worth doing it or not, for lack of sales and on Poshmark and stuff. When Poshmark changed their, look at that, I can't even type now. When they changed their settings for those few days or whatever, I had started getting sales, but then everybody started complaining, so they put it back to the share program thing. I just don't have time to go over there and just share it. And I don't want to use a bot, because they say if you use a bot and get caught, you're suspended, and I'm just not that type of person to push anything like that, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm just left stranded. I guess I could put this under women's. This Riley Brock. Am I missing something with this whole Wardlow statement? I always see you posting it on my videos, but I have no idea what you're talking about. So if I'm missing something, or are you just trolling? If I could live in any state, which would it be? With what I'm doing, I like where I'm at. But if I had to move to anywhere, like you can't live where you are, you got to move to a different state, I'd probably pick Tennessee. In the Smoky Mountains somewhere. Just because I love the history and everything from the native history to the moonshining history, even though I don't drink. And then the whole all the conspiracy theories that are surrounding the Smoky Mountains with the government buried into the mountains, running, programs and stuff, having a base underneath the mountains. So I'd be exploring the mountains looking for that kind of stuff. So I'd probably Smoky Mountains would be my go-to spot in Tennessee. I try to go there at least once a year. So I did not know that. Thought you were friends with who's the only Wardlow I know is on AEW wrestling. Let's see. I need seasons. So a northern state. I could do without season, especially with my. I could go somewhere. I would love to actually. My sinuses feel a lot better in Florida and Arizona, so I wouldn't mind. It might be one of the two places I might have to wind up as I get older, just because I'm tired of fighting them. My sinuses are just always so bad, no matter how many pills and sprays I do. It's just brutal. Focus on a platform is always the best. My wife copies listings into Poshmark. If she wouldn't waste time cross-listing. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's why I have to. If I do it, I have to set up a time to actually do it, and then make sure it doesn't take up too much of my other time ending stuff. So I try to go in, since nothing sells on Poshmark really, I go in once a week, and anything that's sold that week on eBay that I had cross-list, I will end it on Posh. Guess he was dreaming his foot was banging. What was that? I guess it was Adrian. Huh. Sounded like it was somebody trying to come in the front door. What else we got? Somewhere warm all year round with little rain. Yes. Tennessee has sales tax though, which sister lives in Phoenix. I love it there. Yeah, I visited Phoenix, and the first trip, actually the only trip I've ever taken by myself, was to Sedona, and that was awesome. Actually, if you're on my YouTube channel and if you type in like Sedona or Bear Mountain, you'll see some video footage of when I was in Sedona hiking, and I wasn't prepared for the hike, and I swear I felt like I was going to die coming back because I was so dehydrated. My body was cramping up. I had no water. I was out of water. So getting back was struggle, because it was like 1,500 feet in elevation. And looking at it, I'm thinking, I think it was like 5 miles or something. And I'm like, that's nothing. I can do 5 miles in my sleep. Didn't take into account the heat and the elevation. And thankfully there was a waterfall coming down. So when I got close back down toward the bottom, I had seen no animals up at the top, so I'm like, okay, I'm just drinking that water. It should be safe since I saw no animals. There would be maybe no feces or dead animals in the water. So I took a chance and filled up my cups underneath the waterfall and started drinking it. But yeah, that was fun. Fun little trip by myself. If you've never explored anywhere by yourself, not knowing anything, anywhere, nowhere, I highly suggest doing so. It's a totally different feel. And me coming from, the city and always living with so many people, and always when we traveling with somebody was definitely an experience and a great feeling. That was my Sedona story. Pass on that one, but been to Tennessee, love it. Yeah, Sedona was cool. We spent a couple of days there. We did a small hike, Devil's Bridge or something. Yeah. I think mine was called Bear Mountain or something like that. Something Bear or something. Women's running shoes kill on Poshmark. Yeah, when I started cross-listing on Poshmark, I just started doing all the women's stuff I had in my store. I did all that first, and then I started doing men's stuff, and then recently I threw over some media, some LPs, but they haven't done anything. But they're all older LPs, so. No bike ride today. I haven't went bike riding for a week now because it's been so hot outside. But I saw today, well, it's 87 now, it was 85. I'm like, today I might be able to go because the heat's been killing me, or something has been. So my body hasn't felt like wanting to get out and do much, so I've been slacking. But 87 looks nice compared to what it's been all week, so I might go out in a couple of hours, at least for an hour. Let it cool down just a tad bit more. Fabulous camping there. I'd love the mountains, biking there too. Yeah, that would be cool. I know I gotta figure out where you can camp under the stars and stuff like that. I'd love to do that. I'm not a camper. I've done it once in Virginia at the Blue Ridge Parkway with a friend on a guide trip. We camped one night, which I have no problems. It's just not my thing. One night's no big deal, but I would like to do it underneath the stars or whatever. I think somewhere in Arizona they have that. Because I've only got to experience outer space in that whole 3D feel one time in my life, and I fell in love with it. I'm where you could tell that space is 3D by the stars and stuff. I've only got, being around the city and stuff, there's always too many lights. But there's one time, a couple of hours away, where one night I looked up and you could just tell the sky was 3D, and I'm like, wow. That was very cool. So I'd love to experience that again. I got so many hats and I'm so far behind. Chicago. See, now I'm talking too much and I'm working too little. Alright, anywhere in Utah is great. Yeah, I spent a little time in Utah, Zion National Park. What I want to do in Utah is, I know there's a lot of cool places to 4x4-ish ride, driving and stuff. I'd love to do that, just to go exploring in a 4x4 and just, here we are again. It's not went black again, so I had to get my receiver turned back on. So this is what time? 55 minutes twice. So I guess about 30 minutes it lasts, and it shuts off. All right. Santa Fe. I don't think I've done Santa Fe. I remember randomly driving through parts of New Mexico, but I don't remember where. It was the one year we went on a guide trip, we just winged it, and we ended up in like Roswell. We ended up doing Grand Canyon. We did a lot of Route 66, ended up doing Vegas, because the friend I was with had never been to Vegas, and just hit a bunch of I love hitting just small towns and getting out and obviously looking for thrift stores and resale places, but just talking to locals and stuff. That's one of them. I'm not big on small talk, but I'll get out and talk to, like, I love talking hearing life stories in other places and other people who's experienced different things, and I just love doing that. So there was this one time we were going through the back roads of Tennessee, and there was this guy who had his storage locker open, and he was selling his stuff out of it. So we stopped and talked with him, and it was an old war veteran guy, or at least a military veteran guy in the military, and he was just telling us all these stories. And I just remember this one story. He goes, "Well, I was in St. Louis once. I remember when we got there, first thing that happened was these women came up to us and showed us her boobies and asked if we wanted to have a good time." I'm like, yeah, sounds like St. Louis. But I just love getting out and talking to locals wherever we are in small towns and just hearing different stories and life experiences and stuff. Is there a rerun on this live video? Yeah, it'll save and do all that. I just deleted the first one because it was a mess. Just trying to iron everything out. So this one will stay up. So alrighty, let's see. Looks like I missed a lot of great places. Yeah, when I was small, my dad used to drive a truck for Kokens. If you're a reseller, you know the name Koken. But all the barber chairs and stuff like that, he was the installer. He would go to the barber shops and set the barber shops up, and the salons, like all the Fantastic Sams and stuff like that. So I used to go with him cross country to do that. So that was a lot of my kind of passing through places when I was a kid, and exploring that way. But whenever we do a guide trip, we didn't take one last year, and it looks like we're not going to get one this year either. We just go random places, or we either go to the Smoky Mountains, or we'll just drive randomly and see where we wind up, which is always fun. Alrighty, I want to get your perspective on this because I sell a lot of cheap stuff also. What is the cheapest you will list a single item with and without shipping included? Well, I just started some of my items for free shipping. That's just the discs and just the inserts, and those are $6. I will not go below that because my profit on each item is like $1.72, I believe, after shipping and fees, and I don't promote those. So $1.72 not promoted at $6 with free shipping. And then for items with shipping, if it's only one item, I won't go below $5, and then I charge $3.85 for the shipping on those items. And I don't remember what my profit is on that. I'd have to redo my numbers to know for sure, but unless they buy more than one when it comes to media mail items, because I could ship 5 different media mail items and my cost won't go up, but my combined shipping gets me 50 cents for each additional item they add. So on 5 items, I get an extra $2, but yet my shipping doesn't go up. So if they do I'll go down to, if they buy 2 or more, you get 50% off, which is like, what was it, 278 or whatever it was, 270, whatever. And that's mainly because of the shipping and media mail. If it comes to stuff that's other than media mail, I have not done the math on that, so I couldn't tell you on that. I'm just speaking from media mail on that perspective. So you'd have to just do the math, see what everything costs, know your numbers. That's the biggest thing. If you want to make decisions like that, you have to know your numbers, or you're just going to go backwards. Because you have to know what your time is worth too. So that's why I always try to streamline everything when it comes to listing, when it comes to pooling and shipping. The quicker you can do it, the less time it takes, and the more play you have in the money structure of it. So if that makes sense. Sounds like Sioux Lord. Yeah, I don't go down to Sioux Lord. I stay away. I grew up in the city, so I stay away from the city. St. Louis is one, usually, probably for the last, I don't know how many times it's made number 1 in the deadliest city per capita. So, my main goal growing up was to get out of the city, to be happy, and to get out of the city, to be able to sleep in a place where I don't have to worry about anything. That was my goal in life, and I've never looked back. So I rarely go back down into the city. I don't go down there for any luxury things to hang out or anything. Every once in a while I'll drive down memory lane. If I have a friend, we'll go down to some of the streets we grew up and stuff like that. But other than that, you can keep St. Louis City. I'm proud I grew up there, but I'm not going back. Oops. Not going to go back. Look at me talking and not working. How rude. How rude. Tomorrow will be picture taking day. Get the rest of the stuff listed. What's going on, Tom? Also, your items are paid for. That's true too. All my items are paid for because of the way I've been buying for the past 20 years. So if you have $1 into something, you make sure that you don't follow my lead, because my lead is all the items are paid for. So if you're still putting money into your product, you want at least, you could take my lead but up it by your costs. So that's the one beauty about having everything paid for is it's broken. You can be a little bit more lenient on the money side of it. So let's see. Okay. Sometimes I will, if I misspell something even by accident or hitting the wrong key, I make myself erase it and redo the whole thing. That'll teach you. Stop messing up. You're grounded. Sorry, girl. Every time a medal hits the table, she's like, gets a little freaked out. Courtney. Courtney. She's so scary. She's so scary. So scary. Alright, now. Yeah. Professionally certified. D12 DC12 transmission, DC12. Total truck care. Special ed. Figure out what you want to make per hour. Figure out your net profit on each item. Yep. And how long it takes to list each one. Easy math. Hey, David. Also, too, you got to look at the perspective too. If you enjoy what you're doing, you're really not working. Like, I don't feel like I'm working. You know, I feel like, what would I be when I'm not doing this? I'm literally just going. I'll either go for a bike ride or sit down and watch TV. So if I'm not doing this, I'm like, and if I can't go for a bike ride for one reason or another, my back, the weather, whatever, I don't like sitting around watching TV, so I sit around twiddling my thumbs like, what am I going to do? Because I really don't have no hobbies anymore. This was my hobby. I haven't really drawn anything in forever. That's why I started playing a little bit more with the thumbnails, but as my little outlet for creativity. But if it was ideal right now, I'd be hiking, biking, road tripping, and thrifting. So that's my day. But that's what I'd like to do every day. And you can intertwine all that, which is great. So I don't feel like I'm working. But I have a set amount of payroll that I pay myself every month. So as long as I'm happy with that, it doesn't matter to me if I stand here 6 hours or 12 hours. Most of the time it's 12, but because I enjoy what I'm doing. So, I mean, the kids are older; they don't need attention from me anymore. Jan's usually always at work, so she's doing her work thing. So, really ain't much else going on in my life, which is, I'm sure, kind of sounds pretty sad, but I don't feel that way right now because of the past 6 years I just came out of, caring for my dad. This was my whole day. It was just looking in the living room, making sure he's okay, interacting with him, taking care of him, getting his food and helping him with the bathroom or whatever he needed to help with. So the fact that I can stand here and just veg out and not think about anything else. I don't have to worry about Jan or her health because she's at work. The boys are grown. I don't have to worry about them. My dad's gone, so it's just the dogs, making sure the dogs go out when they want to go out, and slowly taking those steps to find myself again. I mentioned it in a lot of my videos where I'm trying to find myself again, and that's basically just, okay, James, besides work, what do you want to do? And that's just where I'm at now. But thankfully, the good thing is I'm not stuck in a cubicle or getting up to an alarm clock. I get to do whatever the hell I want to do every day and enjoy doing it. So, and it makes the money. So right now I'm very content with feeling like I have a sad life, being that this is it, and I'm happy with that because it's relaxing to me right now, if that makes sense. I don't know, might sound goofy. Right now it's my happy spot, just vegging out, listing, and I'm not a TV watcher. I can't just, you notice I'm standing, like I can't sit down. That's just not me. I don't sit very well. And then usually there's really not much on TV that can keep me entertained. It has to be something that I'm very interested in, like Bigfoots or UFOs and stuff like that, because then my head can go into different theories and stuff like that. So that's what I enjoy, so, when it comes to TV anyway. No. Let's see. What's the single biggest score you have ever found in 20 years? Well, hopefully it'll be that lamp that I just got. I gotta contact the auction house downtown, see what it's going to be worth. Prior to that was probably just a CD, and that's been several years now. I paid 50 cents for it at Goodwill and sold for $1,050. But hopefully this lamp will be a huge score. As I had talked to this lamp lady who saw it, she's like, "Don't give that away. That's something special." So hopefully some of the stuff that looks similar to it but not as detailed are selling for about $3,000. So hopefully it'll be worth a little bit more than that. We shall see. I haven't really been too gung-ho on contacting them yet, just because of the state of the economy and stuff. Figured it might be worth the while just to wait a little bit, and if anything starts to rebound. But then again, I know people with money who buy that kind of stuff, they might not be affected by the economy anyway. So it's just one of those balancing things where I'm not in a hurry, but we'll see what happens. So and then that Dr. Lori lady never got back to me on my statues I found. Paid her $59 and she hasn't even responded. It's been, what, 3.5 weeks now or so? She took my money and ran. Dang. Unless her emails went into my junk folder and I didn't look in my junk folder. Maybe I need to do that first, before I just say she took my money and ran. Your worst purchase ever. That one's easy. The one huge mistake I made, which I wish I wouldn't have just thrown them in the giveaway now and I would have kept them, because I think now I could probably be selling them. But I got a lot of Terminator movies, VHS tapes, sealed. We're talking like 150 copies. I probably paid 50 cents a piece for them. This was probably, I don't know, 12 years ago, 10 years ago, something like that. And had them listed for a year and not one sold. And I had so many of them, I'm like, screw it. I just threw them in giveaway. But now I wonder. And they were all brand new too, so let's see if we got any sales history. Maybe it was Terminator 2 actually, when I think about it. Or was it? Yeah, well, maybe. I'm not sure. No. I don't remember if it was 1 or 2. Let's see if any of them are selling. See? And mine was sealed. Or no, that's a Blu-ray. Never mind. Why is it coming up under VHS? That looks like a VHS. That is a VHS. What are they doing? That's a beat up VHS tape. I wonder if they bought it thinking it was a Blu-ray, or if it actually sold because it was a VHS tape. Don't think it was 3. Pretty sure it was 2. So they're still not really selling, because I don't know if that one, they filed it under Blu-ray, so somebody could have bought it thinking it was Blu-ray. See right there. So that was probably my biggest mistake. $300 gone. Didn't make no money on it. I don't even remember where I think they were probably just sitting in a thrift store. Wouldn't have been the bins back then. So that was probably my biggest mistake, where I made nothing. I can recall anyway. That one stands out because Jan still gives me crap about it all the time. I'm like, do any of the good decisions I made matter anymore? Always reminded about the bad one I made. 20 years of decent mistakes, and I get the one bad one thrown at me all the time. But that's the way it goes. It's what I get. I deserved it. Funny though. Funny stuff. Reselling, she's totally against it. Maybe you should talk to my wife about reselling. Well, why would you? Well, you have to figure out the reasons why she's against it first, and then create a game plan. If you don't have a game plan, something that's not known looks scary, especially if you know nothing about it. So if she knows nothing about reselling, it could look very scary for her, especially depending on what you're wanting to do. Start off small. You can literally turn $20 into $200 if you know what you're doing. So that would be my suggestion to you. Take $20, turn it into $100, turn it into $200. Say this is what can be done, and slowly build off of that. Then take that 100, whatever you make off that 20, just use that money, reinvest it into other stuff. The problem that most people fall into is they don't take the time. They think it's just quick and easy when it's not. Like I've said a million times, when I first started, I would spend 2 hours going through eBay solds to see what kind of stuff sells and what it sells for. So if I come across any of that while I'm out, I know what to look for. But nowadays you don't have to do it that way because you've got your phones with you. So you can make a lot more educated decisions nowadays than you could when I first started in 01. I think that's the main reason that when I first started the business, one of the many reasons why before I knew it, by the time 10 years rolled around, I was $150,000 in debt with the business because there was no phones. We couldn't just look the stuff up. Didn't know exactly what we were doing all the time, so we were just buying stuff. Not only that, we were taking advantage of the business by taking 3-4 trips a year, traveling, thrifting, on vacation, building up inventory without buying more than we were selling. Basically, bought a $60,000 work truck. Just did a lot of the wrong things right out of the bat, and that piles up over time. Thankfully, I've gotten myself out of that, but it wasn't easy, and it had some stress involved in it, So it just depends on how you go about it. And nowadays, it's very easy to take $20 and turn it into 200, and take that 200 and turn it into 500, and take that 5 and turn it into 1,000. You just got to put in the time to do it. Make the right decisions. So once you start doing that, you can gain confidence. She can gain confidence in what you're doing, and it doesn't say fighting a lion eye. then again, like I said, I don't know all the details behind that. So, no, sounds delightful. Thank you, thank you. I don't sound sad. Not too sad anyway, right? With your inventory, have you ever thought about doing whatnot? I'd signed up. Well, I guess maybe I didn't go through all the steps because I never heard nothing back. So maybe I missed something out and didn't quite fill out all the information properly. And then I started to do it again, started going through the steps. I'm like, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to do whatnot? Because I'm just thinking it's based off of followers. I'm like, my stuff's common stuff mostly. I'm not really going to have the followers to do it, so I'm going to be basically giving the stuff away. And it's probably not going to be worth the time. So, it's not for me, at least not now, not where I'm at. If I had the product to build the audience, or I had the audience to buy the product, then yes. But right now, I don't feel I have either. Just common stuff. That's not going to draw too many people in unless I go through all my hats and just pull out all the vintage ones and get rid of all my, high dollar stuff through whatnot. But do I really want to do that? Because that's what's bringing traffic into my store. So it's just one of those fine lines. I don't think it's for me. I really don't. I love auctions. I wish eBay auctions worked, but they don't really work properly anymore unless you have, even if you have rare stuff, you're only getting a third of what the value's worth. So I don't know. And I just don't have the time to really learn to get into cards and all that and starting a new business inside my business with the way cards, and that's going to be a fad. That's going to die out eventually too. Just kind of like the way vintage clothing is starting to die out now. So everything comes in circles. The other day I heard young kids calling each other dog again. He's my dog. I'm like, what? We used to say that in like the freaking 80s and 90s, and that's back around again. It just made me cringe. I'm like, ugh. Like, what are they going to start saying next? Maynard? Hey, Maynard. What's up, Maynard? Like, so everything changes. So you just always got to be on that next wave of what's coming. And really, I haven't really been paying attention, so I don't know what the next wave is going to be. Normally, I'm pretty up on that kind of stuff, but I've just been kind of vegging in my own world for a while now, for at least 6 months anyway. And before that, I was stressed out a lot, so haven't really done too much in the last 4-ish years. I sell sealed VHS tapes all the time. Actually, one of the biggest categories I sell after DVDs and books. Probably sell around 5 VHS tapes. Yeah, and that's the thing too. There was I have 5 storage areas now full of stuff, but before I had 5, I had like 4. I had 5 then too. And I literally emptied like a 10 by 30 out and gave it all away. And most of it was VHS tapes. This was 10, 12 years ago. I needed the room. Because actually, if you watch my pulling videos, the room that has I always talk about the fallen shelves in. It's got my pinball machine in it. That room was literally filled wall to wall, floor to ceiling with product. And in order to expand my business downstairs with listed items, I was out of room. So I basically cleared that whole room out and gave it all away. I mean, I kind of went through it. Get that back up and going. All right. Went off again. So I kind of went through that room, pulled out the high dollar stuff, but I gave away a lot of money. A lot of it was VHS tapes. And I still have probably even in some of my storage areas now, I'm sure I still have a lot of VHS tapes. But they're just in the very back because at the time I picked them up and bought them, they weren't selling like they are now. So I would just throw them in storage, and hopefully one day it'll come around. Now that days come around, they're just buried in storage where I can't get to them. So I'm kind of missing the boat on a lot of VHS right now. Who knows, there could be a sealed Back to the Future in there and I wouldn't even know it. And some of those other ones that are selling for decent money. So that's what happens when you get too much stuff, I guess. But at least I don't have to worry about getting any more product if I don't want to. So, oops. C6. Red. Schnappbach. Well, I emptied a box of hats at least today. And I got some of my adjusted discs prepped, drafted. Boink. All right, what do we got here? Zombie infected action figures. All right. Yeah, but I see what you're saying with the neat stuff, but I don't know if my stuff's really that neat. I feel like most of my stuff's just common stuff and not really that neat. I mean, a Corvette hat, okay, maybe somebody might give me $1 for that on there, but I sell a lot of just generic stuff to people that have to find that product. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe something to it. I don't know yet. Dumping around most people on Whatnot that I know are just lazy and have a ton of bad inventory. They get like 25% of eBay and complain about it privately, but publicly it's fun. Cool. What's up, Rachel? Hope you're enjoying that new Bronco. Alright, what we got? Let's see. How much bigger can my store get based on the capacity of my basement? That's a good question, because actually I was thinking about that last night or this morning when I couldn't sleep. I'm like, because I was working on a lot of media yesterday, and I'm like, how much more room do I have for media? I've got a lot of those plastic shelves down there, those drawers, but a lot of them have dead product in them still. Whereas now the shelving, I've got all the wooden shelving caught up, all the dead products off that. It's all live product now. So I still got to do that with my plastic drawers. But yeah, that's a good question. So what I'm doing actually is 2 of my storage rooms are second floor bedrooms, 10 by 20 bedrooms. So what I'm working on now is like the box of hats I just pulled out coming from one of those rooms. So I'm slowly emptying out those rooms. So when those rooms are totally empty, I can put up some shelving up there and expand it there. So I've got a plan on that. So, and then also too, if all else fails, I have these glass shelves here in the office that if I have to convert them over to actual listed inventory, it won't be a problem. So I could probably double my store. I think safely I could double my store total and be fine. So maybe 60,000 pieces. We'll see when I get there. Getting ready to hit 34, so. we will see. That's one thing slow sales does. It lets you increase your store number at least. So. Discogs. I thought you heard. Yeah, I got a little bit up on Discogs. I've got probably only got a few hundred pieces up there. So that's one place too when I do my cross listing that I'll do Poshmark and I'll do Discogs for media. And I took everything off Macari and took everything off of Depop. Depop worked well for a few of the, vintage items at first, and then it kind of just disappeared, at least sales wise for me anyway. So I took everything off there. I don't think anything sold on Macari for me, so I took everything off there. And Facebook Marketplace is just too much of a pain to figure out and to get down, and it's not convenient, and at least from my lack of knowledge of it anyway, let's just put it that way. Maybe there's something I'm missing, but it just doesn't feel very user friendly to me, and maybe I just need to spend more time on it. But do I have that time, and is that time worth it? That's where it lies. Because as you've seen with me listing, this is how quick I can do eBay. Just in 2 days, 355 drafts I made. And then thankfully Jan did probably about 200 pictures for me. But 355 drafts I made in 2 days. And then I can knock out all the pictures for those in probably like 5 hours tomorrow. If all 355, I can do about 400 pictures, not pictures, but items. Pictures for items, 400 pieces. In about 4 or 5 hours. And the most pictures I do is like on hats. I'll take 5 pictures of the hats. So. And so that's where I have to draw the line on is what else is worth it. And then on top of that is the turnaround rate, the sell-through rate on the stuff that I sell. The stuff I sell, you can pretty much only sell on, well, at least the majority. You can only sell on eBay, because if somebody wants, hey, Riley's, gas and oil gas station, wonder if anybody, Riley himself can come on and find us a hat to his gas. I mean, I sell a lot of stuff to previous owners of businesses who buy in their own stuff back. So that's not going to sell anywhere else, So a lot of my stuff will only sell on eBay. So unfortunately, it's the only option when it comes to you just have to deal with it with all their freaking issues they've been having on the site. As I saw that new one today, whatever it said. That was a brand new one for me. I didn't see that one before. What was it called? Ever since I messed with my computer, I can't find the right stuff. No healthy upstream, whatever that means. So that was the latest error. But anyway, I knew something was up because everything was so off overnight. Zero feedback, you better pay, or I will come after you in 5 days. No $3 for you. I go 5, that's as low as I go. And look, there's nothing sold. Look at this. This is a pain in the butt. The last thing sold at $243. We're at $452 right now. Over 2 hours since something sold. Today has been brutal. Brutal. Alright. What's up? How much beer can you store? Get it, James. Are you selling on Discogs? Okay, I got that one. Matt Thrift of Life the other night. Nice size following. Selling some really nice vintage band tees getting on average of $9. $9 for vintage? No. See, then I need to get on there and start buying product to resell. $9, I'd buy your vintage tees, your band tees. Hell. That's crazy. That's giving stuff away. No, thank you. I haven't even got on there and watched anybody's live. So, yeah. I'm feeling guilty right now, wasting time sitting here like this, not doing a damn thing. But hey, I got 355 items prepared for tomorrow. I'm going to take the rest of the evening off and go for a bike ride. I want to make myself get out there. Oh, it's jumped up again. It's freaking 89 degrees now. It's going up. Like the hottest time of the day is supposed to be 3 o'clock, not 5 o'clock. I don't care. I'm getting out. My body's feeling better. I'm going to get out and wear myself out. Get all sweaty. I like to sweat. So quiet. Alright, the other day you mentioned import CDs are something to look out for. Can you talk about other things in general to look out for when thrifting media? Well, here's the first thing you should do. Find a media seller on eBay. Go into their sold stuff and look things up. That'd be the best way to do it. So CD wise, I'll type in CD. Type in highest first. So rap and heavy metal, hard rock, independent, indie artists, always a good thing to look out for. First pressings, West Germany, made in Japan. Like the Styx, Man of Miracles. And it was just an older, so you're going to find different stuff that, is out of print that could sell for higher amounts. So, yeah, there's a bunch of different. I haven't really sold a lot of high dollar CDs lately. Mobile Fidelity, gold CDs. So, there's a bunch of different things. Obviously, if you find any more still sealed in the old long boxes. Here's another smaller metal band. And some promo singles. I love promo singles. Some of them go higher than others. And then some of the bands, like I said, that have a rare out-of-print CD that people want. Like here's a Bowie made in Japan. And also, too, if you find them from the early 80s and they don't have no barcode on the back, that's a thing to look out for. Like this, you'll see on the CD here, it says made in Japan right there. And this one does have a barcode, but there'll be some that will have no barcode on the back, and if they're from the mid 80s, that could be indication of it's an indication of early pressing, but could be a first pressing. Spam. And then like Peter Mayer, he's a local artist, so he's an independent, even though he's got a bigger following because he's the guitarist for Jimmy Buffett. But his stuff usually, there's a million different things. Like this is West Germany, so this is an early pressing, kind of like the Japan, which will say it on the disc itself also, right there. Made in Polygram, Germany. So, and down here, made in West Germany by Polygram. And like Victor Alex Lifeson from Rush, that's just I think it's just a CD that's hot right now. This is another Peter Mayer CD. So independent artists, independent rap, independent metal, West Germany, made in Japan, no barcode on the back. And some of the simple things I can think about. How do you know indie? Look for or like a address in it that's not. There's no major label markings like Columbia or Universal, and chances are there's going to be a shipping address inside somewhere, and it's not going to be New York or California. It's going to be some small town in Iowa or something, or St. Louis. But then you'll find stuff like these. I had no idea these things were worth what they were worth. I picked them up because I never seen them before. And working in a music store from 93 to 2001 before I started doing eBay, I had never seen these CDs before. And I'm like, $1 a piece, I'll take a chance on them. Get home, and I bought them all three. So even I am still surprised. I just sold this one. Was it in today's video I uploaded? I think so. And it's made in West Germany. I didn't even put a picture on it there, just put it in the title. And promo singles, but promo singles are hit and miss depending on the artist. It's best to look those up unless you buy them by the bulk or something real cheap. But other than that, it's pretty basis of what to look for. But media is so easy to look up. I still can't believe I sold a $100 pillow. All those old puzzles were kick-ass. That's the main reason I like buying by bulk, because it's less time consuming. As long as it's not picked through stuff like Gaylords. Gaylords, chances are those are already going to be picked through, so I've never found a good Gaylord place for media that wasn't picked through, except from a recycling place. But they were ex-library copies, so there was a lot of them that had damage that needed repaired or thrown out, but was able to make the money really easy on them at $100 per Gaylord. But that's the thing. That's the reason why I like bulk, because chances are you're going to make your money back pretty quick and easy on bulk items, and you don't have to spend the time doing the research until you actually have it, listing it. So. Oh, you didn't pay, did you? I gotta file that non-paying bidder so I can get these guys relisted. Damn you! Getting ready to call it here. Let's see. After so many years selling online, don't you notice a dip in sales in June and July? Yes. All the time, every year. June and July. July's always my slowest month. June's always my second slowest month. February used to be my biggest month. February used to beat out November and December. Obviously, last year didn't really. I think COVID just changed up the whole game last year. So last year you got to take out of the equation as a whole, because people had all that extra money the government was giving out, plus they had nowhere to go. So, but yeah, July is always the slowest. That's why we usually travel someplace in July, because that's the time to go. And then June's the second slowest. Thankfully, though, even though it's been slow, I've been keeping at least a little bit above my minimum where I'm still, paying all my bills and making a profit. So normally that don't really happen. Usually I'm just making it back up, as the fourth quarter, third and fourth quarter goes on. But so this year, it does seem like it's a little bit busier this year than say 2 years ago or any other year in the past, not counting last year. I see people with YouTube videos saying about slow sales and all this and that, but in there when I'm looking for thumbnail ideas, but not actually watching the videos. But I think that's the one promise too about, I don't want to jinx myself or feel or anything, but I kind of think the direction I've headed in the past couple of years, I almost feel like I am recession proof, if you will, or even summer proof, where just because of the stuff that I sell, somebody's always gonna be searching on eBay to find it. May not be that vintage tees are not selling well, concert tees now, because that fad's kind of dying out, but yet I'll still sell generic blah 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 that you wouldn't expect to sell, and those kind of items are still kind of moving. So which makes me very happy, because it makes me feel like I've made some, even though the choices I made have been easy because of the situation I was in. Like I couldn't leave the house longer than like an hour because my dad was here, so I'd run out to the bins and just grab all the common stuff and come back. I couldn't sit over there for 5 hours just waiting for the high dollar stuff. So I feel like that situation was created out of necessity, but yet it's been a decent decision. So it's kind of refreshing to know that just this common crap that you can pick up at the bins, that anybody can pick up the bins. I think that's the thing that I try to talk about the most in the videos, is to inspire others, is just anybody can find this crap. Let me put reason first. Yeah. I mean, Mavericks, Minnesota. I mean, would you pick that shirt up? I mean, if you look at my stuff and go, I wouldn't have picked that up, I wouldn't have picked that up, I wouldn't have picked that up, then I feel like kind of not vindicating myself, but like that I made the right choices in the situation that was thrusted upon me, I guess. I mean, like Magpie Systems hat. Nobody I know would have bought that hat, but yet I got $10 out of it. You take that and times it by 100, times it by 1,000, and I'm sitting here making the money on it. So there's a million pieces out there just like that will sell, and that's another reason about bulk I like so much, because what you may lose on one, you're going to make it up far better on another. So like I said, as long as it's not cherry picked stuff. I mean, ABB Robotics, they're not too far away from here, and that one's going overseas. I shipped that one today. Like overseas, there's a lot of people overseas that like these just generic hats. If you watch my pulling videos, I mean, I don't know. So it's just kind of, sometimes I still am in disbelief. I'm like, how is this selling? And yeah, it's lower dollar, $10 here, $10 there, but if it's paid for, don't have no money in it anymore. And I don't even know what my dollar per item is anymore made, because eBay's kind of the way they change things. I can't do my monthly breakdown anymore, or at least not the way I used to be able to do it. I haven't went in to try to see if there's another way yet, but just the blank hats. This makes me happy. And now, like, so that's why I kind of just started up the honey hole again, just because I can go out there looking for the higher dollar stuff now and adding that back into my business when I want to. So it's not a necessity, it's like a bonus. Which will only, make it better, because then it's already brought my dollar per item, up. Just selling that goofy stuff, or the higher dollar stuff. Let's see here. Right, that's what I would have done. Yeah, made bank over time. And see that might be a flaw on my account, where I spend too much time on this low dollar stuff. Maybe I should just take all my low dollar stuff and just donate it and be done with it. And if it's not $20 or higher, not even mess with it. No, I kind of got it in my head that that's the way I'm headed, but I'm not doing it right now. Like, I always keep saying I'm in like a pre-retirement phase, where I'm just trying to get through what's in the storage lockers. I list it all. Once I hit my threshold of 75,000 free media items and my 10,000 free or 25,000 free other listings, once I get my store to that, then I can start pulling out of it, and just the low dollar stuff starts going by the wayside, because then I only got room for the higher dollar stuff. That's where my head is at right now. May not be the smartest thing, and it may not work for everybody, but right now it's working for me. Whether it'll work for me next year, I don't know. Might be in a whole different spot next year. So, Andrew, thank you, sir. Logitech microphone 35 cost me $750. Nice. Ever hear back from Dr. Lori? No. I just was saying that because I saw my statues up there. I paid her the $59 about 3.5 weeks ago and heard nothing back yet. So I'm getting ready to email him again and say, hey, what's going on? Dave Matthews, singles or imports, shoot me a message. I'll pay eBay prices. Save you the listing. Will do. OKC in your car said 108. I can imagine. We're still at 89 here. Let me see if I missed anything. Go back a little bit here. Looks like I didn't miss anything there. So, back live. Alright. If it works for you, man, you are too far in now. Right? Right, exactly. And I could just easily give away lots, but see, when I sell a lot for $10 for 20 items, I'm like, man, I can get $10 for one item in that lot. Do I really want to do that? And then I talk myself out of doing it. So I start to go one way, and then I veer right back, and like, no, I can put this cassette up for $10. It'll sell for $7. Why am I giving this cassette away with 20 other cassettes for $10? Why am I doing that? So that's where I talk myself out of it. So. Dr. Lori became Dr. No. I do have to check my junk email folder. I haven't checked my junk email folder to see if any emails turn back on. turned off again. All right, turned off again. I haven't went back through my junk email folders to see if it went in there or not. I'm kind of watching myself here, so my page comes back up, but I'm still acting like it's not up. Yet it is up, but it's not up. So it almost like it, when the live fills in the blank, when my screen goes black, it fills in with whatever was on it last. That's what it kind of looks like. So I'm guessing you can still see me when it's black, and I'm guessing you can still hear me. Well, I don't know if you could still hear me or not when it goes black, because that would turn off the sound too, I would think. Whoops. Testing. Okay, so we're still on. All right. Anyway, I guess that's all for me now. I spent too much time yapping. What, 1 hour, 115 minutes. I'm gonna go for a bike ride. We're at 5:13. Go see if I can squeeze out 2 hours. Get about 20 miles in. 15 to 20, I should say. I probably ain't gonna push myself too hard since it's hot. We'll push for 15 in 2 hours. No, I can do more than 15 in 2 hours. I don't know if I can do 2 hours actually to be in 90 degrees, but I'll try. All right, thanks everybody. And maybe I'm going to find a day to do the lives, just one day a week. However fits into my schedule, since I'm setting that up now. Since I'm doing cross listings on Wednesday, and I think Wednesdays are going to be more of a kind of a loosey-goosey day for me. So maybe we'll do like oh, you did hear me while I was doing that? Okay. I feel ignored. Did you say something? Oh wait, Tommy, there are places that will take scrap clothes. Oh, you're talking to Tommy. Smack him around a little bit. You'll end up living in trash. I know there's one rag shop around here. Fixie Bike, of course. There's one rag shop around here, but they cherry pick their stuff, and they actually have a store that they sell their vintage stuff on, and they sell online too. But you can go in there and find hidden stuff. So I haven't been there since before COVID, so I don't know how good it is. So we'll see. But China sound the last of my worries. But yeah, I've got a trail bike also that I used to ride on the Katy Trail, but I haven't gotten that out this year at all. I really need to see how my body will react to a bike with gears, being I've been riding without gears for so long. I could probably go a lot farther, a lot smoother, a lot easier. But alrighty. I asked about 3 times I asked about second sale. See, I didn't see that. And I'm not always looking at this thing because I was working at the same time, but let me go back and see if I can find your thing. Before I go. I don't see nothing. No. Did you ask in this live? Because I'm not seeing nothing. If you asked in this live, I'm not seeing nothing. Unless you asked at the very beginning. Yeah, I'm not seeing nothing. I'm not seeing no questions on my end. 3 times I asked about second sales. What do you mean second sales? Ask me again real quick while I'm looking. All I see is your comment to Tommy. Maybe it blocked it out. Maybe. And I'm looking at what you guys look at. Like I don't have I'm using this program here, and it did have a chat thing on, but I had to close it to get it out of my way. So I don't even know how to turn that back on again to, I guess, see it before you guys see it. So I haven't messed with this program too much to understand it yet. So second sales on eBay, do you know of them? I don't understand what second sales on eBay means. Am I brain farting here? Second sales. What do you mean by second sales? Second sales. I'm trying to think if I'm missing something. Media. Oh, a media seller. Oh, I do not know of them. I know of the only ones I kind of pay attention to just to see how they're doing their pricing and stuff is Declutter. Like second sale, I haven't. Let me look at them. I don't have to go right this second anyway because it's still hot outside. But so let's see what they're doing. Boop boop boop. Oh yeah, they got a lot of stuff too, huh? Holy crap! Wait a minute. In 1 month, 90,000, and times that by 3, there are over 250,000 items they're selling a month. 1.5 million items listed. Nice. Nice. Decent prices right off the bat. See, you have to have special pricing with eBay for this to work, especially with the media mail going up in price. That's not worth it for me. And if you're doing that by volume, you know, more power to you. But like this is not, I can't live with that myself. I don't understand how they live with it unless they're getting a huge discount somewhere, even if their items are paid for. Because with that many items, you know their overhead is a hell of a lot more than my overhead. They've got employees, they've got a warehouse. So giving stuff away where you're actually losing money, people like places like Best Buy and stuff used to do that. They called it loss leaders, just to get people into the store. They would take losses on new release items just to get the people to come in the store, hoping that they could sell them on something else. But when it comes to doing stuff like this and the volume that it's done at, like 296 of this sold. What did they actually make on this? Like if I was selling that, I wouldn't make nothing on it, literally nothing. So what kind of breaks are they getting where they're at least pulling in, say, a quarter on that item? I don't know. So there's something I don't know there, or they're just taking that loss 296 times plus another 44 times. But like it doesn't make business sense because all they're doing is driving down the numbers on top of it. Where if everybody, if they price their stuff a little higher. See, the thing about these companies is they all use programs that control the pricing. And their programs scan the prices online and price their stuff accordingly. So if more people would up their low, like I used to use one. So if you would up your low amount on those items, because you could say don't go below blah, blah, blah. So if one person started setting theirs, one of these big people started setting theirs at, say, don't go below $4, then guess what? The people who's listing after them, when they go to price theirs, the automatic machine might do it $3.99 instead of $3.49. So they, even if one of these sellers would up their prices, it would literally shift the value of the items up. So that's the way I would be looking at it if I was running this. And if I had this kind of inventory, I would have the room to be able to do that and to take a little hit maybe for a month, knowing that in 2 months, because those machines that do the pricing, they're constant. It might not even take a month. It would be probably instantaneous. The one I had would check your prices several times a day and change them. I heard a pop, so I wanted to make sure the audio's still going. Would change it several times a day. So if one of these big companies would just put in their lowest, they would increase their lowest amount, it would literally raise the value across the board. And that's the thing about like declutter and stuff too. And like I'm noticing here, like if you go through this, Look how many they're just like, if I was doing it, how many it would be, I'd be giving money away. It's just astronomical. And does the decent dollar stuff make up for it? No, not with the volume of the low stuff that they are selling. That's kind of like the way mine was. I had to set a limit and not matter, if it don't sell, it doesn't sell. Would I sell more if I priced mine like this? Yes, hell yeah. But I would be giving away money at the same time. And I'd be going backwards. So it doesn't make sense for me. But I couldn't imagine, like, even if eBay gave them free listing or free final fees, they would still be losing money on a $359 item. Right now it costs $320, and that's volume through like pirate ship or stamps or even eBay, I think. Plus you've got your mailer, which will be another 5 to 10 cents. Then you got the time, and then you've got more overhead than I've got. So you've got an employee doing it, and you've got the storage. Like, I don't even have no storage overhead except for my 2 lockers that I pay for. So yeah, it really, I kind of look at these and go, man, they're not going to last, because you've seen them come and go. I don't know how many of you guys remember 1-cent CDs, where they were doing the auction things, starting everything at a penny. They didn't last. They didn't last for a reason. How long have these guys been around? Since 2002. So they've been around for a while. And yeah, I see somebody said something about the negatives. Almost 15K negative reviews in 12 months. Yeah, and because that's the one thing, like, I know for a fact Declutter doesn't do, and I'm sure they do it. They don't check their product. And that's where all the negatives come in from, because I've bought 2 things off Declutter, because here's where I put up a collectible CD. The one I remember offhand was Wasp, and it was a CD single, and it was like a $40 CD. So I put it up for about $40, and this was when I was using the pricing thing I was talking about. Next thing I know, it sold for like $8. I'm like, what? Like, how did this thing get knocked down to $8? So I go online, look, and Declutter, even though I had a $40 one up, Declutter put one up for $8. So my pricing thing matched it, and being people are going to buy from me over somebody like this just because of the number of negatives in the first place, they bought it from me. So I saw Declutter had one for $8, so I bought it, thinking, well, when I get this, I'm putting it back in my store for $40, and I'm going to make my money back. And when I got it, it was totally scratched, it was cracked. They didn't even look at it. So I guarantee you a lot of this is probably wrong disc in the jacket, so they didn't check it. CD case had no disc, so they didn't check it. Disc is jacked up, didn't check it. Received a 1-pack. The game's not in the case. They didn't even open it. They're not even open the cases on these things to see if the disc is in them. Movie doesn't play at all. Probably scratches. Skipped. They didn't check it. So yeah, all their negatives, because they're not looking at their product to even see if it's there or scratched up, and that's what their problem is. And that's why I don't even try to compete against these people, because when somebody looks at their feedback and they look at mine, they're going to know they got a better chance paying a couple bucks more from me and getting a product that's going to work. So yeah, I don't even try to compete with these people. That's why I would love to see their books and see how they're surviving, to be honest with you, because I don't think the volume is there in big dollar items to make up for all of this low dollar stuff they're selling. Because the majority of it is stuff I would lose money on if it was me, with less overhead. I mean, look at all that. Yeah. And even though that's all today, probably go down to all 240, and it's all today, yep, and then some. So if you look at that 240, and they're giving away a quarter for all these $3.59 ones they're selling, how many times have they given away, $50, $100 a day, taking a loss on? For what? Does the algorithm make it worth it? Does it, or a lot of these people, see, here's the thing that makes up for the difference. Now I'm thinking about it. And here's the difference between me and them when it comes to bulk buying. If somebody comes in and buys this for $3.59 and this for $4, they're not getting no break on ship. Well, they're paying more for it for them as if they were buying it from me, because I charge shipping, but I give the combined shipping rates. Where these guys have no combined shipping rates. You're paying full price for the item. So I guess they're banking on bulk buys. But from my experience, you get a hell of a lot more onesies than you do bulk buys. Like this person probably bought this one, and this one. So that's where I guess it would make up for it. But you're going to get a lot of onesies. So, I still don't think it would be worth it, to be honest with you. If they get the same percentage of onesies compared to bulk as I do, it's not worth it. If their percentage is a hell of a lot higher, then I could see maybe it does work a little bit. Would it work for me doing this and charging the shipping? No, because that's the bad thing. I wish there was an easier way to promote the combined shipping rates on eBay, because a lot of people don't. They have to email me and go, "You do combined shipping," and then I have to tell them the rates. I used to have it on my item pages, but most people don't even look at item pages, and a lot of times you can't even find the item page to look at the details anymore, like on the phone and stuff. If there was a way to tell people better how my combined shipping rate, I think my multiples would be higher. Because I would probably be giving you a better deal than if you went here and bought 10 of these at $4 a piece. Well, that's $40 right off the bat, when I could have sold them probably less because of I charge shipping. If that makes sense. But yeah, because that's going to be a onesie. That's probably a onesie. Onesie, because they're not really, like that's probably together. That's probably together. But it's hard to say. But they got to be banking on. Let me go look at that. Now you got me all into this before I'm not even reading. Let me look here. Look at the feedbacks. All right, onesie. That's a higher dollar one. Onesie. We're trying to look at the cheap ones. Onesie. I don't know if you can see this on there. I'm not updated over here yet. Okay, you can. Gas. All right, this person bought 2. Onesie. Well, that's a higher dollar one. Onesie. See, with these onesies, they're not making anything on them. And this one bought 3. And this was a bulk buy here. This one bought this one and this one. This one bought this one, and this one. And this one, okay. This one, okay. I would like to see their percentage of bulk buys compared to their onesies. That would be the only way I could think that they are not taking as big of a hit as I think they are, and that's because of their bulk buy percentage would have to be a lot higher than mine. I mean, I would think you would probably have to push 50-50, but they're not pushing 50-50 in order to make that work. But like I said, I don't know all the detailed numbers. I'm just pulling from what I know with my business. I'm sure they're getting a break somewhere, but they're also probably still paying for their product if they have like a website they're buying from, like Declutter does. This person bought 3 here, plus this one. But see, that's what I kind of did this past weekend. Is I did the half price. So I kind of did it cheaper, but in hoping to get more bulk orders, but it didn't push more bulk orders through. You're gonna make me do the math. What I'm gonna end up doing later today is I'm going to pull a bunch of these numbers, and then I'm going to use my numbers to match and see what it looks like if somebody buys 3 $4 items with free shipping and what it all looks like. So I'm going to do the math on this and take notes, and then I'll update you guys on another video or next live or something. And because hey, if it works, I would try it, but I don't know if I do the volume to make it work. So it's going to be volume and multiple orders, but I would have to find that. I'd have to do the math where I find that balance of you would have to do X amount of bulk compared to X amount of onesies to actually make it even worth it. All right, now you got my head going. Now I'm even gonna be able to go for a bike ride because I'm gonna be thinking. Bet you don't feel ignored anymore, do you? All right. let me back this up because I know I missed some stuff. All right, let me see what we got here. Oh, they do buy 3 get 1 free. Probably do this every key eating their lunch, mine too. As before again, there comments. Yeah, I don't even really look at negatives anymore because I know kind of my negatives are pointless. My feedback on eBay is kind of pointless now, unless somebody has like less than 10 or something. I don't even worry about feedback because everything's guaranteed anyway. So, did I work at Best Buy? No, I did not. Have you ridden your cruiser at Ray's Indoor Mountain Bike Park? Me, no. If you're talking to me, no. You don't expect to care. Yeah, they don't care at all. I'm glad to hear you talk about this, James, because I had some puzzled questions. Here, let me bring this mouse up here too. Another corded mouse for this computer, and I can read your guys' thing. Why didn't you think of this sooner, James? All right, blocked out. Okay, let me. Yeah, now you're gonna make me do the math, so I'll do that math and see what comes up. But they are your competition. Well, yes and no. They may be competition in the media field, especially DVDs, because I got so many DVDs that I just cannot move and they will not move. So I would say they're definitely competition in DVD sales for me, because they move a lot of DVDs for nothing, and that's probably why I can't move any for my pricing. But competing with them would be suicide, and it wouldn't be smart, being my quality is a hell of a lot better. Dare I say 75% probably better than their quality. Because who knows how many people don't leave negatives who just... Here's another thing about these companies. If you file an item not received, like I did with declutter. You just file that it's scratched or whatever. They don't even counter anything. They just automatically give you a refund. They don't ask for it back or anything. So I'm sure they do it too. Like if you heard on the news and stuff lately, how Target and some of the big box stores are going to start doing that. These businesses have already been doing that because they would be spending a lot of money on returns. So if they have this many number of negatives of stuff that's damaged, just imagine how many people who don't leave the negatives, who just file and get their money back and move on. Their negatives would be much greater than what it's showing. Because you know how many fires I have to put out, and I still got my feedback sucks right now, and I would have much more if I didn't put out those fires. Because a lot of stuff's been getting lost in the mail lately too, when it comes to media mail. So I've been having to put those fires out, so it kind of sucks. Charge shipping afterwards? No, it's free shipping. They can't charge shipping afterwards if you promote free shipping. And then that's why you would just give a refund instead of asking for your product back. And that's all based around volume also, because it's cheaper to do that. You're saying no way to compete with them. They're going to get person looking at the cheapest price every time, but seriously, media buyers will look elsewhere. Yes. And I used to do the lowest price when I was trying that out back in the day. And then I did free shipping for a year, not with this what I'm speaking of, but I did try free shipping for a year on everything, and it's not worth it. At least it wasn't worth it then. I sold a lot more because a lot of people will click lowest price available and start shopping there. Because when I used to make sure I was the lowest, I got tons and tons of sales, but over time it just wasn't worth it. So, because I would be spending, right now I maybe spend, say, 3 hours pulling and shipping, where something like that I'm spending 6 hours pulling and shipping, but yet I'm pulling in 20 cents an item, and it's not worth it, because then that 3 hours I could have been listing. So when you're a one-man show, it wasn't worth it. So yeah, you can't price against it. You just got to make sure your quality is better and your feedback stays better when it comes to the quality. Because once one person does this and they see how crappy it is, and if they go to leave negative, next time around they're going to look at somebody's feedback when they come to. Because I get customers all the time who say they buy from me over some of these places just because they know the quality is going to be there behind the product. They ain't going to have to worry about it. So I know that happens for a fact. So hello, Nita. Full attention locked in on this subject. See, I didn't even see your question did not pop up, or I didn't get it, or didn't see it, or something. I didn't see it. All right. That's right. That company was on eBay years ago. Yeah, the 1 cent. See, I remember when the 1 cent people, I forget her name and his name now, but I remember they tried selling their business for $1 million. And they used to get all their overstock stuff from music stores. And that's how they got their product back in the day. Whoops. We went down again. If you can hear me, we went down again. So I'll wait for this to come back up, just in case you can't hear me for sure. That's where they're coming in. And there was some other CD companies that did this similar to what they did also, and they're all gone now. But obviously these guys have been around for a while, and they've been doing it for a while. So taking the trip to Texas, not. I kind of want to still go somewhere, but since we lost that $1,500 canceling Myrtle Beach, I just can't make myself go, even though I should make myself go. If I do anything, we're just getting in the car and driving somewhere and see where we end up, type of thing. It's probably what we'll end up doing if we do anything. So having more on the no side, even though I should make myself go. How about that? Me Too got a whole bunch of DVDs up for sale. How detailed do you get when grading vinyl? Can you talk about your listing description on vinyl? Well, with vinyl, I take the easy way out. I learned from working in a music store and selling on eBay. Everybody views graded vinyl differently. So when I really started selling vinyl on eBay, I would get so many negative feedbacks. Well, this ain't good, this ain't very good, or this ain't meant, or this, the cover said the cover was very good, but it wasn't very good, it was more good plus, and I'm just like, so what, I put a blank statement in my description on eBay, on each page, it says, something to the effect that, I'm being honest, I do not know how to grade vinyl, but I will, if it's listed, it's at least a good plus. I'm not putting in anything below a good. And I'll leave it at that. And I think I've gotten one negative feedback on my vinyl condition in the past year, and that's it. So people just accept that statement that I'm being honest, that I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to grading vinyl. Because obviously everybody has a different opinion about different grades. So yeah, I put that in there and that works. Am I probably getting less sales because of it? Yeah, but I'm also getting less negative and less headaches too. So so I just put that blank statement in there, and if somebody, like I said, somebody complains, I go, I'm sorry, I got free returns, and if they want to return it, they can return it. So that's all I can do. Hello, Jamie. All right, so, I should get off here now and go for a bike ride. We're at 5:45. Get out there a little bit and get outside, get some sweat on. All right, 2 hours. All right, I appreciate everybody. So maybe every Wednesday I'll do this. We'll see, hit or miss. I'm not going to schedule anything because, like I said before, there's no point in scheduling anything. I work for myself. So, yeah, record collectors are brutal for sure. If I schedule stuff, I don't feel like I have the freedom, and I shouldn't be working for myself. I might as well go get a desk job if I'm going to schedule something. So, no schedule, but we'll try to do every Wednesday on lives and kill a couple of hours answering questions, since I don't really answer questions on the videos, since I don't keep up with the comments. So, hi James, bye James, and that says it all. All right, everybody, I appreciate everybody, and I will see you all in the next video, which will probably be tonight if we have some decent sales and I do some pulling. So later, everybody. All right, let's see if this will stop this time.